It's a very personal and kind of eccentric and unique style. Kind of like, it's like his version of Tim Burton. You see a Tim Burton movie, you know it's a Tim Burton movie. You see a Joe Dante movie, you know it's a Joe Dante movie, because it usually has like bizarre, cartoonish elements in it.
Yeah, I'm a huge Joe Dante fan. I love all his films, and the fact that you got to work with him, that's great. And the fact that you got to work with Phoebe Cates. You're a very fortunate man.
Yeah. I probably have more people ask me about her than just, well, actually no, it's usually, how did those things work? Is usually probably the number one question I get about the Gremlins and stuff. But then number two is, what was it like working with the super hot girl from Fast Times at Ridgemont? And then I answer, how would you imagine it was like working? And I was like, yep, that's pretty much the answer. Pretty solid. 16 weeks of pure fun.
Now you also got to work with Dick Miller, who many of us know is always in Joe Dante films.
Yeah. Well, he's in so many movies. It's funny you brought him up because they're doing a documentary. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the festival called South by Southwest down in Austin, Texas. They're doing a documentary called That Guy, Dick Miller. Because people are always like, who is it? Oh, it's that guy, Dick Miller. You know, that's what people always say when you see him in a movie. So they're doing this really cool documentary. They've spoken to something like 50 or 60 different people, and they interviewed me for about an hour on what it was like working with Dick, and it's going to premiere next March at South by Southwest, and apparently it's really good and really funny. And of course Dick's in it himself, talking, he's like, I don't understand why people make such a big, you know, he's doing his like kind of thing. Like he doesn't really kind of understand why he's the legend that he is. Which is cute, which is why Dick's so nice.
Now we have some people in the crowd, and there are microphones out there. If anyone wants to ask any questions regarding the films Zach's been in or anything else, I mean, please feel free to raise your hand.
What my astrological sign is, what my favorite color is, what I order when I go to P.F. Chang's. Basically anything you want to ask.
Now, Goonies was your first film.
Gremlins.
I mean, sorry.
People always say you made the G mistake.
You mentioned
Goonies, Gremlins.
Well, you mentioned Goonies earlier, so I got stuck in that.
Yeah, and Chris Columbus wrote both of them, so it's really kind of confusing. And they're both Warner Brothers movies, and they both have Corey Feldman, so it's a little confusing.
Yeah. So that was your first...
No, actually, the first thing I did was... Well, you mean film-wise, or just as a professional actor?
No, as your first feature film.
My first feature film was actually a very, very strange movie called Nothing Lasts Forever. And you can sometimes see it late at night on TBS. It has all sorts of rights issues about it because they used a lot of stock footage in the movie that they didn't have the rights to. So every time they show it, they're always sort of threatened with like these multiple lawsuits from people who want their compensation for their clips of their films being shown. But it was it's a very strange movie. It was produced by Lorne Michaels, who does Saturday Night Live for like 30 years. And it's an 18-year-old me and Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd and Sam Jaffe from Lost Horizon, like the 30s, and David or Stood Still. And a bunch of other really interesting people. And it's in black and white, and it's made to look like a lost movie that was found in the MGM vaults in 1951. Like I said, it's a very strange picture. But it's really cool. It's one of Bill Murray's favorite movies, and he shows it all the time. Like he did a retrospective at the Brooklyn Academy of Music, and that was one of the 3 films from his career that he chose to show, which is kind of trippy. But of course, if you've met Bill Murray, he's a very unusual man. He's a very interesting guy.
Do we have any, I thought I saw something raising here. There we go.
Mike, how awesome is that? My question is, what is the most difficult shoot you ever did?
Wow, that's a difficult one. Believe it or not, I think it was probably this Hatchet 3 one I did about a year ago. Well, it's probably a tie. I did a movie called Psychic. They had a clip of it actually up there. And we shot that in Toronto in January. So it was about minus 10 degrees when we shot outside, and I don't know if you know this,